Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Sunday. I hope you are well and have enjoyed your weekend wherever you're watching this around the world. Lots of World Cup action going on, of course, lots of good stuff last night and hopefully, fingers crossed, for England. Yes, I am a little bit biased for England today and tonight as well. Some good stuff to happen as well. I'll talk about that a little bit later on in this video. Obviously, Bukayo Saka, fingers crossed, will be involved for England. Aaron Ramsdale there as well. But I've got to start today's video on the big news, the news that everyone's talking about at the moment, and that is Gabriel Jesus, who we all know now, unfortunately, has had to pull out of the World Cup squad for Brazil, picking up a knee injury in their last game, and he is out of the World Cup. Brazil confirmed it yesterday. I reported on the news in the morning yesterday, and just a horrible situation for Jesus, a horrible situation for Arsenal, obviously, but first and foremost for Jesus, who had a lot of hopes for this World Cup. Given what happened 4 years ago to him not scoring over in Russia, he was desperate to sort of make amends, so to speak, during this World Cup, and it just hasn't happened for him. Didn't score, and then the injury in that last game as well, just an absolute hammer blow, and his time in Qatar is over. Now, there's lots of speculation at the moment about exactly how long he is out for. I am afraid right now, as it stands at the time of recording this video, I can't confirm how long he's going to be out for. There is a lot of rumours going around that it's going to be, at least 3 months. Arsenal at the moment aren't confirming that. Jesus' side aren't confirming that. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I've got a feeling Arsenal will release something at some point pretty soon, just to kind of put an end to the speculation. They're in contact with Jesus, have been in contact with the Brazil national team and the doctors throughout the last 48 hours after the injury happened. There has been rumours that he was feeling the injury before the game, and TT played him anyway. Well, TT's just had his press conference right now ahead of Brazil's next match, and he really hit out at those rumours, saying that he would never sort of endanger a player, put a player's health at risk by playing him when injured. Called it all fake news, and really wasn't happy at all. So that he's absolutely denied that was the case. But, whatever happens, it's a blow and he's going to be out for a while. I can't say right now, as I said, how long it's going to be. No one is confirming it. And it's just a case of waiting. I do think, as I said, that Arsenal put it out because there's so much talk about it. And from speaking to a couple of people at the club over the last sort of 24 hours, the impression is that they know they've got to put something out, but they just want to get all the facts straight. Now, as of yesterday, when I was talking to someone who's close to Jesus' side, they were saying they confirmed he was out of the World Cup. But they said he still had other tests planned, and they weren't going to know for sure exactly how long he's going to be out for until all the results came back from that test. Now, it looks like he is flying back. I saw before recording this video, there's a picture doing around of him on a plane with his daughter. So it looks like he's on his way back to London today. Now, yesterday when I spoke to people at Arsenal, they weren't sure if that was going to happen or not. They were waiting and seeing if he was going to come back or not, or if he was going to sort of stick around in Qatar and be around the squad even though he wasn't going to play it. So it looks like he's coming back, which maybe that does suggest that they need to get this sorted now, and he does need significant treatment on it, and so they don't want him hanging around, which from a club point of view absolutely makes sense. So it's a massive blow, no doubt about it. However long he's out for, we've got the 4th of December. We've got about 22 days until the game against West Ham. You would think that whatever the issue, he might be in trouble for that, because if he was not going to be fit enough to play any part of the World Cup, that just immediately puts doubt on West Ham. Whether we're going to be looking at 3 months, fingers crossed that is not the case. He doesn't have to have an operation, but we'll have to wait and see. The rumours are he is going to have an operation. I'd love to be able to sit here right now and confirm exactly what's going on, but at the moment it's just not. No one's putting anything out right now, just because they want to make sure they know all the facts before they put anything out. And for Arsenal, it begs the question. I've already seen it. I've seen in the responses to all my tweets about it that we've got to sign a striker now. We have to sign a striker. It's not potentially not as easy as that, because what do you sign a striker and then Jesus is back in February, and then what happens? And if that's a striker you don't really want, but you've signed just for the sake of it, I'm not sure if it really works like that. And maybe a loan is an option. I don't know. We've just got to wait and see. First, we've got to wait and see exactly how long Gabriel Jesus is out for, and then we've got to work out. Arsenal aren't going to panic in the transfer market. They've shown that in recent summers and Januaries. If they don't feel like a deal is right, they're not going to do it. They're going to continue to plan for the long term, not the short term. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, fingers crossed we get some good news on Jesus. But at the moment, I just can't, unfortunately, bring an end to the speculation in terms of exactly how long he is going to be out for. Elsewhere at the World Cup, I mean, good news for Arsenal, bad news for Thomas Partey. Ghana crashing out, and Partey coming home. I mean, for Arsenal, obviously, you look at it totally through sort of red tinted glasses, and you think he's got through it injury free, and he's coming back, and he's going to have a good few weeks. He'll be out in Dubai, you'd think. Didn't travel out with the squad. I'll talk about that a little bit later on in this video, obviously, but you'd think he'll be over there pretty soon. He'll get basically that warm weather training camp, might have a week off before that, and he'll be fine for the Boxing Day game against West Ham. So from that point of view, purely selfish Arsenal point of view, that is a good thing. Matt Turner also, he's had a fantastic World Cup. Matt Turner, brilliant World Cup he had. Unfortunately, going out yesterday, USA losing 3-1 to Netherlands, just came a little bit unstuck in that game. Netherlands' experience, know-how sort of picked him off on the counter-attack. But for Matt Turner, sort of individually, he just had a fantastic tournament. He really did. Up to those goals against Netherlands yesterday, the only goal he conceded in open play was that. The only goal he conceded wasn't in open play. It was a penalty from Gareth Bale. Made some really good saves. Just looked very commanding. Excellent performance. Excellent tournament from Matt Turner. So both him and Thomas Partey are coming home. We'll wait and see what happens tonight. France playing later, and then England obviously playing later. Looks like Bukayo Saka is going to start that game, which is great for him. I think he absolutely deserves it. Yes, I know that there's going to be lots of calls for Rashford and for Foden to start because of the way they played against Wales, and I can understand that. Personally, I'd actually play all three of them because I would have Declan Rice sort of hold in, then I'd have Bellingham as giving him a little bit of support, and then I'd play Foden in one of the central areas in the 4-3-3, and then you could have Rashford and Saka on either wing, either side of Harry Kane. But I don't think Southgate's going to do that. It'll be more safety first from him, and I imagine Rice, Bellingham, and someone else will play in that central role. I'm not sure who. But probably Jordan Henderson knowing Gareth Southgate. But it looks like Bukayo Saka is going to be playing on one of those two wide positions, which is great for him. I think he deserves it. Like I said, he was so good against Iran. It's easy. People seem to forget how good he was in that game against Iran just because of how well Rashford and Foden did in the second half against Wales. But Southgate really likes Saka, so I'm not overly surprised that he's playing. It's a big day for him and for France. We'll see if things go well, if things go badly for them when they could be returning home. Arsenal have gone to Dubai. They've already flown, or they're on the plane right now, to Dubai for their warm weather training camp ahead of the Dubai Super Cup. Headline news really from that. I mean, it's nothing new. I spoke about it last week, but Emile Smith Rowe has travelled, so that's great. He's got such a big part to play in the second half of the season, Emile Smith Rowe. I know you all know that I'm a big fan of Smith Rowe, but he's got a really big part to play second half of the season, and it is that whole cliche of like a new signing. Obviously, he's not a new signing, we know that, but suddenly having him involved again, if he's fit and if he's healthy and he's finally got over this groin issue, which fingers crossed he will have done because of the operation, and you can get him back to the sort of fitness and sharpness that he showed at the start of last season, the first half of last season, and Arsenal are going to be laughing, and they really need him. They need his goals. And everyone, if Jesus is going to be out for a period of time, they need everyone, all their goal scorers, fit and healthy and available. So having Smith Rowe there is going to be a big boost. Vieira's come back. He's one of the late sort of comers to London Colney during the past week because he had some international duty, but he's there, he's on the plane. Lots of others. I got the full list here. Arsenal announced it on their website earlier. So you got like Tierney, Gabriel, Martin Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah, Holding, Cedric, Vieira, Lokonga, Nelson, El Neni, Marquinhos, Zinchenko, and then you got a whole host of youngsters. I'm not going to read them all out, but you got people like Taylor Foran, Zayn Monlouis, Matt Smith, Miles Lewis Skelly, Nwaneri's there, Raul Walters, Lino Souza has gone. So lots and lots of youngsters combined with some of the senior players who weren't at the World Cup. And like I said, I imagine Thomas Partey, once he might have a few days, might have a week, I don't know, we'll have to see what happens, but I imagine at some point he will be over there in Dubai and he'll be joining up, and some of the other players who have gone out or will and might go out over the next few days, they will hop over to Qatar and link up with the senior squad for what, as I said last week, I'm told is going to be a very hard working summer or warm weather training camp. It's not going to be a holiday camp by any means. Arteta is going to really put them through their paces because he wants them bang on it, as you would expect for the start of the Premier League on Boxing Day against West Ham. that squad who went over to Dubai, they were all in action in that behind closed doors friendly against Watford earlier this week. It makes me laugh. There's a lot of reaction to that. Arsenal put the sort of match report out yesterday about it. Obviously, they lost 4-2. That was a big headline. I saw some of the sort of media outlets in England, the sort of newsy online desk putting out Arsenal embarrassed by Watford losing 4-2. It's like, no, it just makes me laugh. I mean, it was obviously they lost 4-2, but it was 2-1 at half time. And the first half was when Arsenal played the senior players. They were winning 2-1. Arteta replaced the entire team at half time, putting all the under 21s, and not just under 21s, you're talking like 15, 16 year olds in there as well. And they ended up losing 4-2. But that was just, it was the under 21s. It was against Watford. So it was not Arsenal's first team losing 4-2 by any means. It was the first team played the first half. They were winning 2-1, Marquinhos and Nketiah, and then when he made all the changes the second half, Watford came over and sort of won that 4-2. But nothing to worry about. Some of the replies to my sort of tweet yesterday with the scores were just making me laugh. It's like, this isn't good enough. What are we going to do? We're going to finish outside the Champions League places. It's like, calm down. Seriously, calm down. Actually, look at the team. Look at the starting 11. Look at what happened. It's really nothing that big. Don't worry about it. But all of those guys, I expect that they'll get minutes over in Dubai in the Dubai Super Cup. Some of those youngsters in the second half of games. Arteta will go strong in the first half, or as strong as he can with the players he's got available, but he will look to utilise some of those under 21s. It'll be a really good experience for them, even if they don't get minutes, which I expect most of them probably will. But even if they don't, it'll be a really good experience travelling over to Dubai, spending 10 days or whatever it is at this warm weather training camp, and what fantastic experience that is for the likes of Ethan Nwaneri and a lot of the young players. So not long now, only Thursday, Arsenal's first game, which hopefully is just going to go like that, and finally we're going to have some proper Arsenal football to talk about, because it feels like it has been a long time since that win at Wolves just before the break for the World Cup. All right, that's about it from me today. Look, if I do get any news, if we do get confirmation from either end, from Arsenal, from Jesus' people on his injury, then of course it will be straight on my social media. It will be straight on goals, so do keep checking for that. Like I said, I've got a feeling that Arsenal will put something out sooner rather than later, just to sort of quell the speculation, bring an end to it, and at least let people know what is going on. But fingers crossed we get some good news, but we will wait and see on that one. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the football later wherever you're watching it around the world. I'll speak to you soon.